Hello, my name is Novella, and today I want to talk about setting reading goals, but not focused on quantity, but on quality. So that means a whole different approach than I would normally have. Normally I would say, I want to read 100, 200, 300 books a year. I mostly do around 300, 350 books a year, but I don't want to do that this year. Not anymore. I want to have more quality in my reading better books, slower, but more intensively and more alert in a way. So I was thinking about this for a very long time, and I would start by making a sort of priority list. So maybe for me this year, I want to read more in themes. Like, for instance, we are now reading with Classics and Company Moby Dick, and maybe I should read, besides Moby Dick, everything about whaling, sailing, life in the sea, around fishermen, around the whaling industry maybe. Yeah, all sorts of things around the theme of Moby Dick, but in a way more broader than just the novel. And maybe read about Herman Melville's life, or things like that, make it more thematic. So you have maybe once a month you choose a theme you want to talk about, you want to read about, and maybe sea life the first month, happiness the second month, everything that revolves around spring and blossoms the third month, and so on. So it could be a very thematical way of reading. Could be, I think, more interesting than just reading books that either are now very popular or everybody talks about, or books that other lists and other booktubers tell you should read, but more in your line of interest. I think that could be a really good way to enrich yourself than just reading classics or nonfiction, but just melt it all beautifully together. That would be, for me, I think, a really good way of setting a reading goal, just reading more thematically. Then I also thought of reading things that inspire you. So, for instance, maybe you love art, and try to read about artists, but also novels around artists, biographies around artists, but also essays around art and philosophy around art that is inspired on art. It could be a really a sea of knowledge that you will dive into, and that you're bathing yourself into. I think for yourself and for your mind, that's an absolute beautiful, beautiful gift. And then you can also read around a certain writer, a certain author that you really like. So, for instance, Ollie and I are reading the complete oeuvre of Patricia Highsmith, and we started with book 1, and we are going through her career. We are now over halfway. We are now reading Ripley Underground, and it's really interesting to see how she evolves, and you feel how she develops her themes that she really likes, and her characters, how they are flawed, and they always have a certain type of trait that is typical for Patricia Highsmith. And it's really interesting to see the development of an author from the beginning till the end. It's amazing. And afterwards, I think we will read more about her and maybe read some critics and some other stuff. But it can be a really interesting way to set a really reading goal. Another thing that is not really a reading goal, but still is make time for reading, but real time, where you set your phone off, all the devices off, so you can't be disturbed, you can't be distracted, you can't quickly look something up, or you can't say, I really need to send this email quickly, or have to see if X or Y has posted anything. No, everything off for at least an hour, half an hour a day in a certain time. Maybe you're an early riser and you get up at 5 and you just set the reading time from 5 till 6 or 5:30, it doesn't matter how long, but read consciously and read, and there's nothing else but the text and you, and no garbage around you, no noises and things that invade your reading space. That would be also for me, for instance, I will set my phone off at 8 on do not disturb, because after 8, everything that comes to me isn't very interesting or important anymore. So I think that's a very good way of also keep your mind fresh. And we are so bombarded constantly with all kinds of things that distract us, that really setting a time for yourself, just for yourself and nobody else, can keep you sane in a way. Just keep you sane. And then also maybe set other goals, like I will try to read books that I've never read before, or the types of stories that you've never read before. Maybe if you have never read fantasy, try it for once. Or if you don't know if science fiction is something for you, well, ease yourself into it. Give it this year, set it as a goal to read something new. Or maybe you want to learn more about poetry and read like one important poem by one poet. And then you also read their biography and the story behind it and why he wrote that or she wrote that. And if you can do that, it's also where you dissect every little sentence, every little word, every little comma, every little point. It can be such a wonderful, wonderful message. Now, this is for me something that I really want to do. I want to read more about people also. I want to read more biographies. I want to learn more about how other people live their lives and how they manage to find solutions to their lives. I think that can be very interesting. So yeah, I think this could be a way, or all these ideas, suggestions that I've given you could be a way of making your reading life more interesting. Reading makes me happy, but I want to focus on quality and not quantity. So yeah, I hope you've liked this post. I hope there's a message in there or a little idea in there that can trigger you and do something else this year. Do something different. Challenge yourself in a different way, in a healthy way. Thank you for watching and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.